today we talk to Tony, the lead developer behind the upcoming indie game Last Soul. And we're going to dive into a whole bunch of different things. We're talking about the gameplay mechanics, the inspiration behind it all, the main character, AI Bob, who is just a thrill to see and a whole lot of fun to play as. This game has a little bit of Star Wars with a whole lot more inspiration behind it. There is a whole lot to enjoy, and I can't wait for you to experience the action space adventure that is Last Soul. So without further ado, it's time to get into the interview. All right, so tell me about the studio. Tell me how it got started. Tell me about the inspiration behind making games. Where did it all come from? What kind of drove that forward? And what are the plans past this game?
Good. We founded the studio in 2013 in Calgary, Canada. And originally, we were two partners and then one left. And at the beginning, the idea was to create educational mobile games because my kids were were really young, and I wanted to, kind of find some apps that has educational content. And that model didn't work out, and then at the end I moved to other mobile games. And since 2019, we decided, okay, let's go completely to what is going to be Steam games. So we launched our first game, which was called Galaxium, and learned a lot during that process. And then we decided it was like June last year. I brought this story to one friend of mine, and he told me, why don't you make a game out of the story? And I think, oh yeah, I think I didn't consider that. But then, yeah, it turns out to be an interesting story for a game. So I prefer things by creating the story, and then it turns out to be Last Soul. And I prepared a demo for some publishers, some people that could be interested to support the game. The response was pretty good, and then we decided, okay, let's go for it. And then we launched the prologue, which was the beginning of this year. And we get 10,000 gamers in 8 days, which was really amazing. And then we say, okay, so what we're doing is something that people is liking to play, so let's continue. So this is where we are right now.
Yeah, that amount of people playing it that quickly is very impressive. And I actually played it myself, and I really enjoyed it. One of the things that popped out the most was kind of the inspiration from a lot of different areas. So you have like the Star Wars aspect at the very beginning of your intro. It has a lot of reminiscent of like your classic Nintendo with all of the different graphics and the style and that approach. And even the main character is just it's so easy to recognize it and pop out and really draw you into the game. So tell me about kind of where that came from. Obviously, I'm assuming you are a Star Wars fan, and that's kind of where that...
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see there and around me, you see the camera. Yeah, Absolutely. I'm a big fan of Star Wars since I was a kid. I got the first Star Wars when I was 5 years old. And I enjoy it. And of course, always a fan of Star Wars. Not episode 8, but definitely the rest is fantastic. And yes, of course, you will see when you play the game, there are two important aspects. One is the sci-fi aspect that I really love. The other thing is the pixel art. My first console was an Atari console. And I remember playing a game that I would love to play again, which is called Adventure for Atari. And that game blew my mind. It was fantastic. I really loved coming back to the pixel art, coming back to understand how that is still, grabbing the attention of people, and it's something romantic. It's some kind of romanticism with the pixel art. I feel it, and a lot of people is feeling it. And we decided I decided to go in that direction. I didn't know anything about pixel art before starting this project, and I learned really quick how to make the pixel art that I wanted. And the other thing is, yes, if you play the game, then you you listen to the music, and I wanted to have like a very particular, feeling of John Williams and that epic music that would encourage while you're playing with the character to do something that you feel, oh my god, this is hectic. I have to move. I have to do things. I'm going to die or whatever. And the character, the original idea of the character was, when I sent it to the concept artist, was I need to create me a character that will be like a kid between Eva and Wally. So if you can give me that, that's the character I want, and that's how Bob appeared. And yeah, it's good with the chicks and with everybody. It's really an amazing character.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely. So that actually brings up another question that came to mind that I actually didn't have written down. The music itself, did you guys create that in-house, or did you have somebody else come in to help you with it? How did that come to life?
We created in-house, but it's not me. It's a composer, and it's called Freddie Stapi, and that kid is fantastic. I've been, working with them. I think the second project, the second game, the second mobile game that I did. The first one was the music was created by me, but from the second on, all the music belongs to Freddie, and he has been improving, and always pushing the limits about what is my vision for the game related to the music. And in this one, it was something I wanted something epic between Star Wars and Tron Legacy, and those were the parameters that he is following right now. And so far the music is something that everybody that plays the game, and when I listen and see people on the streaming and I'm playing the game, they always say, "Oh, the music is fantastic. It's really, really good."
So this is your second game you've made. Starting from your
On
first.
Steam.
Okay, starting
Steam,
from
yeah.
all your other previous work to this one, how much of a learning curve was it to really get on Steam and start creating this game, and how much transition from that original titles, or the original titles you created, to this one?
I basically work with two companies. One is Apple, and the other is Steam. And I get to say to you that Steam has a lot more information that you can use as a gamer. You got more statistics. They are more open to give you options, to give you information about your game, to support you in the moment of the release of the game. The wish list, the things that you can be building throughout, your marketing plan before the release of the game. They know about that, and they help you to boost in the release of the game. So to be honest, it's more difficult to work with Steam than to work with Apple, in terms of they ask a lot of things. The registration, for example, for the company, it takes time. That's Thankfully, that's just once. But then when you are going to create your game, they're going to ask you a lot of information. But I now I understand why they do that, and why they are, the giant that they are on gaming, and why the publishers, they're always like say, okay, yeah, you can go Xbox, you can go to PlayStation, whatever, but they want to know you're going to Steam first. So Steam first, and then we discuss the rest of the consoles.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. And then kind of circling back to the game itself, tell me about, so the story as it progresses, how does the levels change, and how do they kind of evolve as you go forward? And how does that change your gameplay style?
oh, how can I say things without saying too much?
How
Uh,
about this? The CB troopers and the enemies, how do they change as the game goes on? Like, how do they evolve? Do you have more bosses, more of the larger
yes,
enemies?
absolutely. You're gonna have different enemies as you progress in the game, and what is going to be this is a core story, which is the story of the last soul, and of course you have this evil enemy, which is Cyberbeam, which is trying to destroy, and then you will be understanding throughout the game why he's trying to destroy you. It's not just a reason It's not a simple reason. It has some, you know, some components there about existence that are really, really interesting in the story.
Yeah.
And then, you know, this match between these two characters, one that want to destroy this and the other that which basically wants to survive. It's the core of the story. So as you progress, what you will see is that you're going to discover different things that you can do. That if you play the game in the prologue, I try to like push you all the features. It's the tutorial is too quick. It's like I try to push you everything so you can test and feel it. Okay, all the things that you can do with the game. But there are many things that will come as you progress in the game, and that are going to be surprises for the gamers. And one of the core things that I'm promoting, of course, but also not saying too much about it. Is the Easter eggs, which means that you are going to find Easter eggs as you play the game. You can play the game and finish the game without discovering any Easter egg. But if you discover the Easter eggs and you interact with these Easter eggs, your game is going to change. So and these Easter eggs are going to be all around in the different levels. But you have to discover. You have to have this retro culture about things like Star Wars, like things like that. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people, once they play the game, they're going to publish that on YouTube, and everybody's going to try to get the Easter eggs. But yeah, in principle, is you can make the entire game, but you can replay the game and discover the things that you missed, which is going to be really, really cool.
You don't have to answer this one, but can I ask if there's any Easter eggs in the actual prologue itself?
No, not now.
Okay.
Now. The Easter eggs are. I'm going to. We are going to start mentioning that, but later on the game.
Gotcha. All right, so that actually transitions really well into the next question, where we kind of focus on: A, does this game have any sort of skills tree or way of ranking your character up? And then also all the different abilities that your character has, whether it's the jetpack or the shield or all the other different things that you can utilize. Can you kind of talk to me about the different things that players are going to be able to utilize from that standpoint, from gear and your abilities, and then skills trees if there is one?
The characters, the players will have the option. As I'm planning to do these things, and it's going to depend most of them of the publishers and the investing that we can get into. First, I want the like default. I want the characters to discover things and to be supported by things like boost elements that you're going to get while you play the game, that you are going to pick or to collect to do something. As I mentioned to you, you can do, just shooting and trying to get there. But if you use these tools that I'm going to present you as you play the game, and you collect and you pick them, and you go and use them effectively, the progress of the game, the progress of your game is going to be faster. You're going to have more, better times, which is something that also the gamers ask. They wanted to play the wrong mode. And these are the things that are going to, this Bob character is going to take for a second. He's going to use it, and then he's going to the previous stage. And the other thing is the evolution of the character. This character, as you see at the end of the second level of the prologue, our plan is not make this character to be static as the same character. We want this character to progress and to change as he becomes, stronger than what he was at the beginning.
Talk to me about your favorite part of the game. Every developer I ask this question just because you guys pour so much time into them, and it's hard to pick one specific thing, but what kind of pops out to you as something you really enjoy creating?
That's really easy. It's the part of the animations. Mm-hmm. I really love the animations. The animations in pixel art. As I told you, it's I discovered pixel art at the June, July last year. Well, I discovered, I mean, I was creating things on pixel art in that moment, and it was like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Because when you try to draw something that is not a pixel art, you have to be very good. But pixel art allows you, to say, no, you have 4 points, or you have 8 points, or 16 points, and this is the max space that you have to create something. So it allows you to accept that I can do that. I can do until one limit on pixel art, and the gamers also accept that. So sometimes you play games where people try to do, I don't know, a character that is really perfect, but then you get the competition with something like be a AAA game, and it's something like, oh, this sucks, this really doesn't look good. And one of the challenge that we assume as indie developers is that you don't have a multi-million-dollar budget to create a AAA game. So you have to do things with the tools that but these has to be right. And it's really good when you go there and then animate these elements in pixel art, and you do something even for a sparkling, like a star that is moving on in and out. It could be an amazing experience, and I really love to work with pixel art. And what people is saying is, I love the pixel art. I really love the kind of art that you are creating. We know that we still don't have the level of other games in pixel art that are really amazing in pixel art. But now we know, I feel comfortable saying I like the style of pixel art that we have right now, and we can continue on this one. But now we have the confirmation of that community saying, okay, I love your game. I want to wishlist your game. I want to purchase your game. For example, the guys that usually have the Nintendo Switch, they're asking me, please release that game for the Nintendo Switch. I love the game. I would love to play the game in the Nintendo Switch. So it's one of the platforms that is going to be our priority after the release on Steam, definitely.
That actually answers my next question, because it was going to be about where the game goes after PC launch. So that works in that direction. One other question that comes to mind actually is Steam Summerfest. Obviously, is coming up very quickly. Is that something you guys are going to be part of, or something you're looking at currently?
I talked to Steam like, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and I asked them about it. And as we are going to launch on 2022, they told me I suggest you to wait. They do two festivals a year. Mm-hmm. So they told me this festival is for the games that has been released right now and until I think September or something around that. So they recommend me, no, you're going to launch next year, so wait for the second festival, which is going to be at the end of this year, and then we can help you and promote the game. And yeah.
Past Last Soul, obviously you have to wait for how the game is received on launch, but do you have any concepts or ideas in mind for a sequel, for another project entirely, for something else in the works after this?
Yeah, my problems are not the ideas. It's the time. It's really the time. I'm not thinking about the sequel of Last Soul, because how the story is going to end. It will make more sense to have a prequel, in fact, of the game. But yeah, it's something that is not. I don't know. I'm not sure about it. But we already have a couple of projects that I'm sketching just to to have an idea. But it's not something that, of course, we're gonna be working on right now. Right now, the full priority is Last Soul by far.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you want to add into the equation before we end the interview? Something you want to talk about within the game itself?
It's more about the support, I think. More than the game is about the support. We are creating a fan base of this game that is expanding every day. And one of the premises in the creation of this game, different to any other game that I worked on before, uh, is that I wanted to share the creation process with our fans. So I opened a Twitch channel last year to be working and be listening to the fans, listening to their suggestions, listening to their ideas. Because at the end, these are the people that is going to play your game. These are people that are becoming fans of your game and of the studio at the same time. Because this is not, as we talk, is not the last game that I'm planning to release. And creating this with the Discord, with talking with other my peers, indie developers as well, and listening to their ideas and suggestions, and all this, it has been really important. So I invite everybody to join to of course to our Twitch, to our Discord, and to wishlist our game, because it's right now is the best way to support us. Is just wishlist the game, show us, yes, I want to support you, and yeah, that's the only thing.
So Last Soul isn't going to be arriving until next year. However, it's never too early to go check out the prologue for the game. I'm going to have the link for that below, as well as the link to the main game itself. I'm going to have the Twitter handle for it and the website and a whole bunch of other stuff. So definitely go check that out, because these indie developers need your support, they need your attention, and they need you to just appreciate how awesome this game is going to be and how awesome this prologue is already. So, without further ado, I hope you enjoyed the interview. I have another one coming up later this week, which I'm excited for you to see, and a whole bunch of other content. Like, comment, and subscribe. I am your host, Nick Lehner, and this is The Side Quest. Take it easy, y'all.
Hey, listen!
Well, this is what? You gotta finish your sentence. Over.
That's it. My sentence is over.
Your sentence is what?